Malcolm and Marie is written and directed by Sam Levinson. It stars John David Washington and Zendaya. This film has a simple premise. A film director has his movie premiere. He returns home with his girlfriend, and when he returns home with his girlfriend, they start to have conversations that put their relationship to the test, and they reveal certain emotions that neither were really aware of. A fun fact about this movie is the fact that it is one of the first films that was written, directed, and created during the COVID-19 pandemic. So that fact had me intrigued. But beyond that, I thought the trailer looked great. I love both John David Washington and Zendaya. The director of this film, he is also the creator of the HBO show Euphoria, which I would highly recommend if you have HBO. That show also stars Zendaya, and she won the Emmy for that show. I was definitely excited for this film because of those reasons. Before I share my thoughts on how I feel about this movie, I want to share something else for those of you who don't know. This film has very polarizing reviews. You have some critics saying that it's a masterpiece, it's one of the best of the year, while you have other critics that say that it's pretentious and it's a waste of time. So the question is, where do I fall under between those two categories? The answer is neither. I definitely don't hate this movie. I don't love this movie either. I would say I liked it. I would go as far as saying that I think it's above average. This movie contains two phenomenal performances from John David Washington and Zendaya. They are undeniably giving powerhouse performances. John David Washington is the son of Denzel Washington, and he's been in movies like Black Klansman and Tenet, and this movie only solidified the fact that he has such a bright career ahead of him. He really has a lot of range as an actor. There are times in this movie where he's dramatically effective, and there are other times where he plays the charismatic, the smooth person who is laid back. He's able to balance those two types of personalities so well. And he has two monologues here. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the two that really stood out to me from him, they involve a rant on film criticism and one of the scenes where he is just letting the character Marie know everything how he feels. And he's just so believable. I think he's great. Now, Zendaya, she also gives a phenomenal performance, as I stated before. She is very capable of balancing emotions as well. She also has that smooth side of her, but you can tell that as the movie goes on, she has this anger that's boiling up slowly, as opposed to John David Washington, who he can get angry very quick, but Zendaya is someone who's just silent and she represses her emotions for a majority of the movie. But when she has her moment, you certainly feel it as a viewer. And the acting here is so good. I honestly felt like a fly on the wall watching two people having these conversations. You just forget that you're watching and acting, and you're watching two people acting. And that honestly is the highest compliment I can give to performances in a movie. And that's how I feel about John David Washington and Zendaya. They play off each other so well, and I think they are legitimately great in this film. This entire movie is shot in black and white. I love the aesthetic that the director used. I thought the black and white technique worked very well. This movie takes place in one location, and despite that, the cinematography is still really solid. The soundtrack, I thought the soundtrack was really dope. And the monologues in this film, there are several monologues that are really well written, and these actors, they deliver the hell out of them. And yeah, I think there are monologues here that are going to resonate with people because this film talks about film criticism, filmmaking in general, and it's a study on a toxic relationship. So I think in several ways, there are going to be people who will resonate with this film and perhaps love it for those reasons. Now, here's the deal. This movie is an hour and 46 minutes long. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, there are times where I definitely felt that runtime. This movie takes place in a house, it's two people talking, and there's a lot of arguing. And because there's so much arguing, it can feel exhausting because you're so mentally drained, and it could also feel like it starts to get a little repetitive. And perhaps that is the point, but it doesn't change the fact that for me, sometimes it just dragged. It's not too bad though. I mean, I would say for the majority, I was invested and I liked what I was seeing, but it can drag for me. Also, I would like to say that I understand why it's polarizing, even though I do like the movie. It definitely, in a way, feels more like a play than a cinematic movie. And if someone were to have a problem with that, I would totally understand. Or if you're someone who perhaps never experienced a toxic relationship or has no interest in filmmaking or film criticism or anything of that nature, this movie might bore you, if I'm being honest. But if you ask me personally, I think it's good. It's a solid film with phenomenal performances. And as far as Oscar chances go, because this does qualify for the upcoming Oscar season, I think Zendaya might be nominated for Best Actress. I do not think John David Washington will be, only because the Best Actor category is so stacked this year. It's so stacked to the point where inevitably you're going to snub a couple of people. And I think that's going to be the case for John David Washington, unfortunately. But Zendaya, I think she might. And it would be really cool if she did too. So I'm going to give Malcolm and Marie a 7 out of 10. I think it's a solid film, like I said, with phenomenal performances. I would recommend it just for the performances alone. And it's on Netflix. It's streaming on Netflix right now. If you guys have Netflix and want to see it, I would recommend it. In any case, I would, like I said, I would recommend it. And yeah, that's my review of Malcolm and Marie. Thank you guys for watching this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll take it into consideration if you want to see the film or not. I will be reviewing Judas and the Black Messiah very soon. I think I'm going to be seeing that Friday night, and I'm very excited for that movie, so I hope it's great. Thank you guys once again. Please remember to like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and I'll see you then.